here's the thing. Laurinaitis calls me and says, well, Jim, we've got to let you go from your consultants agreement with WWF or WWE, whatever it was then. And I said, that's fine, because obviously we can't get along, and this ain't working. And he said, well, how does that work with OVW? I said, you can't fire me. I own part of it. And he said, I said, but here's the thing, because this is how sick I was of dealing with them, and I was sick of the wrestling business entirely. And obviously they were sick of dealing with me, and they wanted to control the whole thing. I said, instead of cutting off my check, Danny Davis's check, and OVW's check, and insisting that I will stay as part of OVW, basically cut my check and just, I'll stay home. And as long as you don't do anything to devalue my interest in Ohio Valley Wrestling as a company, then y'all can do whatever you want. That keeps Danny's check, that keeps OVW's check, of which I'm going to get a piece of because I'm part owner of the company, and I can stay home and not fuck with you people anymore. And that's the way it worked for about a year and a half or so, until my weekly or monthly envelope that I got from OVW was reduced from a fat envelope with a lot of green shit to a very thin envelope with a bunch of fucking change rattling in it. And that's when I arranged to sell my ownership back to Danny Davis so that he could own mine and his part. And that's when they signed a new contract with Danny Davis to continue with the developmental program. And that's why he signed a new lease on the Davis Arena and made plans under that. And then 6 months later, John Laurinaitis, who's a lying sack of shit, basically called Danny up and said, oh, no, we've decided to move the whole thing to Florida. After we told you 6 months ago you're in our long-term plans and sign all these new leases under your name and et cetera, and take on all this burden. So John Laurinaitis was the main reason why that the WWE developmental program went south and stayed there for a long time. And he's a lying sack of shit. I have nothing good to say about him as a worker or as a businessman or as a human being.
Or as a skateboarder.
He wasn't a good skateboarder. He couldn't ride that fucking thing either. You should have seen him. Looked like a cow on ice. But his brother. I love his brother, Animal the Road Warrior. I love his brother. We made a lot of money, and he was a great fucking talent. And the fucking acorn fell far from the tree. But that was the story between John Laurinaitis, OVW, and myself. Is that he basically fucked the developmental program that had trained John Cena and Randy Orton and Batista and Brock Lesnar and all those other names. And that's why it was in the dark ages for a while, until they got rid of him and smartened up and decided to put some money in their developmental, which they didn't while we were running it, because they didn't see the importance in it until they realized they weren't getting talent from anywhere else and weren't going to in the near future. So, hi, Johnny, fuck you.